This is the trigger warning for our show. Please understand that various monsters had various victims and hunted in various ways depending on the folklore, mythology, or stories that were told about them. Please understand that it is not our intent to upset you. You will be given other warnings and additional warnings depending on the episode, but this is our blanket statement. We didn't write the myths, but we are using them to tell our story. Also, this is the content warning for our show. There will be cursing. There will be some interesting ideas. We will take it in where we can, but be warned, there was beer involved.
What if I told you there is a world where not only are monsters like vampires and werewolves real, but they have rights, just like you and me. And in this world, there exists a secret government organization dedicated to keeping you safe and making sure they follow the rules. Welcome to Anarium, a Monster of the Week podcast.
Hey everybody, it's me, Cameron, your favorite neighborhood podcaster guy and best friend. And as your best friend, I just wanted to ask you to go ahead and make sure that you have followed or subscribed to us on your favorite listening platform, and you're ready for when these new episodes drop, because that's something that a good friend would do. Anyways, on the last episode, our guys were escorting Liam back to his community, Liam and Elmer, and they ran into some problems. Couldn't get that community to go back to the safe haven with them. They got back, and then we ended the episode with, we split the party. So, let's get back into this, shall we?
Hi, welcome back to Anarium. This is Sam, keeper, GM, person. Anarium is a world of my creation, with various friends and loved ones throughout the years, given life by Michael Sand's Monster of the Week. It's a good system. I recommend trying it. It's great for new people. I'm surrounded now by my friends, some at a distance, but still felt in my heart as though they were here. I'm sorry, I gagged a bit. So, who do I have with me?
I'm Cameron, nice guy, fantasy football player, homeowner, toilet just overflowed.
Nobody cares about your life story. We want to know about your character who you play.
I play Bernard.
Ooh, who's that?
He used to be a logger, then his family died by a gargoyle.
Cracking open a cold one for those lost.
It was a Dr. Pepper.
Not yet.
Don't let him fool you.
My beautiful Norwegian friend. I say, like, he's not from Norway, but he is a beautiful man of Norwegian descent.
Yeah. My ancestors are from Norway and Denmark, so makes sense. But I'm Taylor. I play Marcellus Corvinson, the 1100-year-old vampire warlock who, as you heard in the previous episode, really gets irritated sometimes.
Does not like overly religious zealots.
Yeah, right.
Hey, how's Colorado?
Colorado is beautiful, as is my butthole, for those of you who are not on screen.
Why do you always have to make it weird? Don't do it, Rob. Don't do it.
I'm Rob. I am a player. I live in the world of the creation of my mother and father. I'm trying to rip off however you introed it, but I forgot that quickly. I play Orpheus. I am playing distantly here in Colorado, and Sam, Taylor, Cameron, and I have been friends for a long time, so I'm happy to be here, be part of this. Thank you guys for tuning in.
And I'm Rick Stafford, and I'll be playing Corbin Graves off on I'm doing my own thing.
Adventure.
What?
Can we talk about the fact that Taylor's the only person who's good at introducing himself?
Yeah.
I'm good in my own
we
way.
cannot.
Here's the sound clip for Marcellus last time on. You ready?
4 fucking seconds! It took you 4 fucking seconds to piss me off again!
Pretty much.
I mean, that's not how it went, but that's how it went.
Oh, man.
I'm not going to say it's accurate, but I'm not going to say it's not.
Last time on Anarium. Hey, we're here to save you. No. All right, fucking bye.
Before we jump in too far, we do need to have a brief moment to ask for you to like or rate our podcast. It helps with the algorithm. The more people that give us reviews, whether they be 5-star or 3 stars, it gets our name out a little bit more. That helps put us into the algorithm. And with October being around the corner, if we have a few of those rates built up, when people go, hey, I want to listen to something creepy, there's a chance that we will show up for them. We would greatly appreciate that. You don't have to lie in a review. If you think we're a 3-star podcast that needs a little bit of work, give us a 3-star rating and say, hey, I like them. I like what they're trying to do. They just need a little bit of work. 5 stars are great. Also putting it out there that anarium.pod@gmail.com. If you guys are artists and you are interested in doing some artwork for us, shoot us an estimate for kind of like what you're thinking price range, because we don't expect you to do it for free. If you want to, obviously we'll appreciate a donation. We're kind of thinking about trying to post stuff on YouTube, and we thought it would be really cool to have fan art up while the episode plays instead of it just being a blank screen.
Yeah.
Again, shoot us an estimate. Be like, hey, for $40, I'll do a quick sketch of everyone on the team. That's great. Shoot us your estimate and let us know, and we can work something out. Venmo, PayPal, you name it. You got it. Now, back to Anarium. When we left off, our party broke the cardinal rule of all role-playing games, and they split the fuck out of their party. We have Corbin headed off to the library. We have Bernard and Marcellus, the two that are the closest to following that cardinal rule, separate but together. And Orpheus.
At odds, but together.
At odds. Always at odds. But together. And Orpheus is out in the football field. We will open on Orpheus in the football field.
Cue the sad music.
And speaking
We are in the football field. What is on your mind? What are you thinking about right now? You've had a very different interaction than what you're used to so far.
Yeah, a little pissed off, a little perturbed, I'd say I'm a little upset that Elmer and Liam, who clearly have seen me do nothing but good for them, couldn't even speak a word. I'm meditating at the 50-yard line, if you will, just trying to ease my mind.
Okay. Bear in mind that you are also of a time when mob justice was unfortunately common. Understanding a small group of angry people of a like mind is, even though 2 of them knew you weren't bad, that you weren't evil, that you were something terrifying to a group of already scared people, and them standing up to you and saying, like, oh, no, hey, he's fine, may have made them outcasts as well. And these are people they know. They've lived with them. They see them every day. Keep it in mind. I'm not saying it needs to change your character thought, but sort of an explanation to you why, to maybe the audience as well, why they didn't kind of jump forward. Admittedly, just because everyone's doing something doesn't make it the right thing, but when it's 2 versus 121 at that point, they were scared.
I think Orpheus struggles with that because he was that lone voice in the mob, because it was his love that they were mobbing against.
Mm-hmm.
So that is still that internal struggle. And so flashbacks,
because he has really
waves of
tried
emotions.
to use the pepper grinder like the least amount that he can. I think he has really been trying to like get through the world like as what he is and not trying to like cover it up all the time. So this is the first time that he has interacted with anyone and they were like straight up like, burn it, kill it.
Yeah. I mean, you guys have kind of told me, but this is the first time seeing for myself. I don't know how well to articulate, like, I'm dealing with that internal turmoil of what I am, what this world is, what has become.
Okay. All right. No. On that note, I assume you're standing in the field with your eyes closed, correct? Meditating.
Sitting, yes.
You feel a shoe kick your knee slightly, not angrily, but just enough to get your attention. You look up and you see Troy. Behind him are 50 members of the Amish community. Liam and Elmer are with them. Troy looks down at you, says, "Hey, you guys can go in. I'm going to deal with this." Elmer and Liam give you a look. A mixture of fear and some sorrow. They just left their community. Clearly a conversation happened after you left between Troy and that group, and enough of them decided to come with him. Now you're in the field. It's just you and Troy. The Amish are headed toward the school. Troy waved his hand. People at the gate saw them. They know that everything's fine. Let him in. Troy looks down at Orpheus and goes, "Hey, I holding up?"
Sit with me a moment.
I'll sit down with him.
This world is not the one I left behind. And I don't mean Arkham. I mean a long time ago. I'll just kind of sit stoically.
I work with a lot of cursed werewolves who come in. We have a program, a place for them to go on full moons. I'm going to tell you the same thing I tell them. Up until this point, in your memory, in your existence, you were human. You're not anymore. Now you're a monster, and you don't know how to deal with that. I was born this way. This is the way I've always been. This is always the life I've had. Every day of my life, knowing the people that I religiously believe I was put here to protect hate me because they're afraid of me. That's part of my creation myth. That the moon saw Earth and Sun's children being tortured in the darkness, picked her favorite children, and allowed us to take the shapes of men to walk amongst them and protect them. That is our creation myth, the lycanthropic creation myth. I see a lot of people come through our agency who were human once. Being a monster doesn't make you a monster. No, we don't solve our problems with stern letters and baked cookies. Yeah, some of us are violent and mean and it makes everybody afraid of us. But you can either choose to be the difference that shows people otherwise, or you can let it affect you like this, where you're sitting in a field by yourself, alone. And you ain't gotta be. And this isn't some weird wolf pack bullshit. You don't have to be alone. Just because they don't know you doesn't mean what they think you are is you. Bernard likes you, and fuck, you don't like anybody. I like you, but that's not really hard to do. Marcellus respects you, which I don't really think he respects anybody. So, I mean, there's something there. It's hard to make the shift from human to monster. It's hard to recognize you're different, even though you've been in this form, from my understanding, reading your file, roughly 300 years. You didn't have to deal with people. You were on your own. You had nature. Liam and Elmer did stand up for you after you left. They did say you helped, that things were handled badly. There was an argument. And I started talking about how to defend the area best, what to expect. One of them said something weird about how would God understand if we worked with demons? I told him the same thing I tell everybody whose religion is treating them like shit. God will understand. Because if he doesn't, he's not God, and you got nothing to worry about. Yeah, you're a tree monster. Yep, they're afraid of you. You can sit out here on your duff and let that ruin your day. Or you can prove them wrong. I mean, that's your pick.
Troy, I like you. You say what I need to hear in a way that resonates. I have been monster longer than I have been man. And I only remember that I was man. Do not remember being a man.
Yeah, I read that. The amnesia makes shit real weird. You can't even remember how you would think about things. As far as I can understand, you're as close to a gentle giant as I've ever seen.
It's because you are on my good side, Troy.
Yeah, well, that Gug wasn't. I saw what you did to it. Come on. Let's stop pouting in the field. Let's go back into where the humans are.
There are no other kids that need saving, are there? Did they all come?
As far as I know, we can check with the sheriff when we get back. I am going to ask you to use your pepper grinder before you go amongst some people if they're already terrified. I know it sucks. And understand that this is a 5 foot tall at the shoulder wolf who walks around as a human so that people don't kill him, telling you it's hard not being what you are. But sometimes you have to if you want to help people. Maybe someday not. But today, Giant Dog and Giant Tree Man are not going to be welcomed in that gym.
This is all I know how to be. But I understand what you are saying. I
You'll
will
learn.
try.
You'll learn. Or you'll die trying. I know that's not particularly uplifting, but it's the truth.
I can only hope there is truth to what you say. Stand up and head back to Gert.
All right.
Head back to Izzy. Yeah.
As we head back, we are going to cut inside the gym.
Where I imagine I want Bernard, if there's coffee or any sort of station, I want him to kind of be there, like getting like a cup for himself and kind of like, but pouring some of his alcohol in it. Just
Hitting
kind of
that
looking
flask.
around.
I mean, no one's watching, right? Everyone thinks I'm a hero. They can't know that I'm an alcoholic, too. Functioning alcoholic
That's right.
is the term.
And is my sound better,
Yes. I think so.
Rob?
Yes.
Okay.
I think you're actually speaking into the mic this time. I can't
Okay.
see, but I assume.
And I might have, like, because my face is close to it, I might have been, like, looking.
Every once in a while, you start to look a different direction, and you
Yeah.
forget where your mic's at.
Yeah.
It's all right. It happens. That all comes with
I'm in a
time.
weird spot in the room.
As our friend Bernard is kind of loitering, from behind him, he hears a familiar voice. Bernie Bear? This is a voice you know. This is a voice you hear every night in your dreams. You turn around, and it's your wife.
Yeah, I think every hair in his body is standing up. I think he is.
She is standing roughly 3 feet away from you. She is not rushing you. She looks terrified. She looks similar to when you last saw her. Clothes are different. Maybe she's aged a little bit. But this is Constance. This is your wife in front of you. What do you do?
I don't think he drops the cup, but I think he maybe is squeezing this cup a little bit so that a little bit is running over onto his hand. Because he is looking at his dead wife right now, who is speaking to him. And he's trying to keep his shit together.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's speechless at this point. I think he's just going to continue to stare at her.
She takes a step closer, slowly. Bernard? When I saw you up on stage, I didn't even believe it was you. Where have you been?
I think he's going to say, yeah, having a little trouble believing this is you as well. I've been in the world of the living, where you haven't been.
She takes another step closer. She reaches one hand out to your hand that's holding the coffee cup, and she touches that hand. Instantly it relaxes. This is a touch you know. But this is something that's familiar. Something that you used to feel every night before you left the house. Every day, not every night, but every night before you went to bed. This is a calming, reassuring touch. And though you're apprehensive, this feels like Constance standing in front of you. She looks you in the eye. And she says, I don't know why I'm here. I woke up in this town, and there were other survivors. They took me in. Do you know where our sons are?
I think when she says that, he's going to pull away. You know exactly where they are.
You pulled away from her in that moment. She seems hurt by this gesture. Her hands come back up. They're now clutched at her chest. She kind of starts to tear up. Where are our boys?
I think Bernard is tearing up at this point too. And he doesn't. This is too much for this functioning alcoholic to deal with. I think he wants to reach for her arm and bring her out of this room. Bring her to somewhere more private to speak with her. Again, not if she pulls away, like he's not just going to drag her, but
I mean, you're her husband. She's going to follow you.
yeah, I think he's just going to say like, "Come with me," and grab her, and again, like not trying to make it look like a prisoner, but like two people.
I mean, it's a tense situation.
Yeah,
Everyone's kind of been there where it's more of a, hey, let's get out of here. And,
yeah.
All right, so we'll say you are now standing by outside some of the set of doors in a school hallway, the terrible checkerboard pattern, lockers, one or two trophy cases on the walls. It is lit, lights are on, generators are still running. What happens now?
I think he's just kind of like running his hands through his hair, trying to think. And he's just like, you he's going to point. He's like, you are dead. Our sons are dead. I watched you die.
On the "our sons are dead," she has a reaction. She pulls back in horror. Tears start to flow freely. What do you mean they're dead? What happened?
I mean, I took you to church, and you were murdered in front of my eyes. It's why I'm here. It's why I do what I do. You were killed by a fucking monster. That's why I fucking hunt monsters now. You're fucking dead. You're dead. You shouldn't be here. Why are you here?
I don't know. I remember church. I remember the service, and I woke up here.
I think he just wants to point. He's like, you stay away from me. I don't know what you are. But I know my wife. I know my wife, Connie. And I know she died because I felt her blood cool on my hands. And I watched her eyes go blank. You're not my wife. And he's going to leave.
Okay. Marcellus, what are you up to?
I kind of think I'm just kind of like mingling with the people in the gym, just kind of trying to reassure them a little bit here and there. Just going up to as many people as I can, just saying, hey, yeah, we have a plan. We're trying to get everybody out, etc., etc. Don't be too worried. We're getting everybody out soon. just things like that.
How aware of the room are you? Are you focusing on the people you're talking to and giving them time, or is it more of a quick pass through?
I feel like it's probably a quick pass through, and the fact that Marcellus is still like calming down from the whole thing, and he's always on alert. So he's probably keeping everything in his senses.
So it would not be out of the norm for you to notice Bernard coming back into the gym, clearly emotionally distraught, and then seeing a woman slowly walk back into the gym behind him, also crying.
I feel like that's definitely feasible.
Okay. What do you do?
I'm going to walk up to Bernard and go, what's going on?
Bernard kind of not dismissive, but he's looking around. He's looking past. He's like, "Where's Boyd? I need to talk to Boyd."
What? Bernard, calm down. What's going on?
You've been around this kind of thing before, right?
Define this kind of thing.
Emergency situations,
Like these-
middle school gyms, what?
These kind of events, these fucking rare things that are happening. You've been here for one of these, right?
Kinda, sorta.
Did-
Similar situations, I guess.
Did
but
dead
not
people
this
come back to
exact
life?
thing.
Did dead people just show up?
Technically, yes. I'm kind of proof of that.
I think he's still just kind of looking around. He's just like,
Bernard, look at me. What is going on?
I just saw my wife, man, and she doesn't.
The lady standing behind you?
She's a distance off, but she does have her eyes glued to you as she cries.
He's like, I don't know. She was. I left. There's no way that's my wife, right? She died. I watched her. I was there. She's dead.
Well, we are in the Dreamlands. It's not outside of the realm of possibility.
I think he's gonna kind
You're
of maybe.
welcome, Sam.
I was just sitting there, I'm like, I want to remind him that you guys are in the Dreamlands, but it's just too on the nose.
Well, yeah.
I knew. I already knew.
Bernard
So as
would
soon
be
as he's-
emotionally struggling.
Be like, yes, somebody reminded him you're in the Dreamlands.
Yeah, I think Bernard was just confronted with something that he is not.
Gone crazy.
Yeah, like he has lived the last 20 so years of his life have been avenging the death of
Yeah.
his dead wife, and now she's here.
Yeah.
So he's very much
So
struggling.
I'm just gonna tell him, Bernard, we're in the Dreamlands, so she could be here in the Dreamlands with you. Absolutely, seem real, feel real, look real. But once we leave the Dreamlands, no, she will not be there anymore.
Tear that ass up one more time, Bernard.
Jesus.
Necrophiliac much?
Don't do it. You're going to
Let's
edit it
make
out
this-
if you do.
Let's make this role play go weird.
I am not playing your wife
Yeah, our
in
DM.
that situation.
I think hearing that, like, you might think that hearing that his wife, in some way, shape, or form, like, could be something that he could actually go speak with her, would be comforting. But I think he's just experiencing some real cognitive dissonance. Like, he is not prepared to deal. This shouldn't be happening. As much as he's seen and dealt with, this is not something that he ever viewed as a possibility.
Yeah. So, okay. Question. Bernard being as much of a, how do I want to put it, a Lovecraftian nut as he is, would he understand the Dreamlands?
Yeah, I think he would.
Okay.
He would have knowledge of it. I just think, like I said, at this point, he always thought that was fiction.
Right.
And
But
You work for a
that's-
werewolf now.
yeah, but I think he's just gonna kind of put his hands up. So he's just like, all right, so that over there, that could be my Constance, my Connie.
Yeah, absolutely. Dude, we're in the Dreamlands. You know Lovecraft. It makes total sense. She could be here. Yes, absolutely. You could go talk to her. Hold her hand, hug her, kiss her, whatever you want to do. Say your goodbyes before we leave. Get some closure.
I think he's just
I
gonna,
never
like,
got that opportunity.
He's just gonna like close his
Over
eyes and
1,000
like
years
look up to
ago.
the sky. He's like, God, well, smack my ass and call me Danny Glover. I'm getting too old for
I
this
am
shit.
not doing that, Bernard.
Getting too old for this shit. What?
Welcome to my world. Talk to me in 1,000 years.
I think he's gonna kind of like jiggle his flask and be like, where do you think the principal's office is? I guarantee he's got something strong in there.
Dude, I'm sure there's a liquor store somewhere around here.
I don't have time. He's just gonna walk. He's just gonna like wave him off and just gonna walk away. He's gonna kind of drink his flask a little bit, and I think what he's trying to do is build up some courage to maybe go back over to her.
Bernard's just gonna, or Marcellus is just gonna slap his forehead like, I need to get out of this realm.
Yeah, more booze. That'll solve the problem.
Yeah. That's my chance to give. Let's see what everybody else is doing.
When you were like, where's the principal's office? I thought you were going to say he's got a big desk.
Oh, no.
That's what I thought he was
I
going
was a
with.
little worried you were
Let's
going
go.
super adult on it, too.
And I wanted to say, like, nothing gets a girl going, like, being really confused, hearing that her children are dead, and then being told that she's not who she is. Nothing gets a woman going, like existential crisis.
It's an Eldritch horror. Kill it.
Yeah, no, I was just looking for some Jack Daniels.
Meanwhile,
Odd.
I seriously considered telling him it's probably an Eldritch horror. But I didn't.
An odd aside. But something I feel like we need to grab a hold of while we're here in this moment. Marcellus said he never got to.
Yep.
Who did he lose? Like I mean,
Everyone.
like I know your backstory. Like I've read it, I've reread it to make sure I remember everything. But in that moment when he is literally saying this is your chance,
Yeah.
who was he thinking about?
His parents, his brother, all over 1,000 years ago, but he never got to say goodbye to them. His father died in battle, as is Scandinavian custom back in those days, going a Viking, and he was an actual Viking, and so was Marcellus. Most people mistake all Scandinavians, Norwegians, Danish, etc., for Vikings, which all Viking meant was raider. Going a Viking was going on a raid, and so they were just called Vikings because they were raiders. But only the people who went raiding were actual Vikings. The rest of them were just Northmen. So, but yeah, his father was a Viking. He was a Viking. His brother was a Viking. They died in battle, and he was turned. So,
Okay. We will close this scene, and we will head to a local street where a large, muscular.
of course, Corbin's on a street corner.
Meanwhile,
like, cut to, like, just sad, and then it's a knight with a sword and a vampire, like, skipping along, having a time, off to adventure.
you are following your street signs. You haven't really seen anybody. The town's deserted, but now that the sun, for lack of a better term, has risen to a reasonable height, it's not pitch black outside anymore. You are headed to the library, and what are you about right now?
Recovering from, like, very rude Amish people. Just
They
like,
weren't rude. They were scared. All right. Okay, all right.
Jacob was rude.
Good friend. What is on thou mind? I can tell your heart is not in this.
Oh no, it's 100% in this. That's
You
that's his
seem-
coping mechanism.
You
Is like
seem distracted.
I was sad, but now I'm being.
Don't
goofy.
tell me. Tell Galland.
We're gonna go to the library. We're gonna find out whatever wicked tome this transference happened from. Pokes his head a bunch.
Kind of takes a weird moment to like lean in a little bit. Dost thou need to talk about it? Dost thou need to speak on it? We can be men and share our feelings. I am told that is what we do now.
Corbin stops and gets real serious and puts a hand on his shoulder and goes, "What do you need to talk about? How have you been?"
I am from another realm, of the olden days when men were men. We fought battles and wore in armor, and now I must learn what a TikTok is. I am not pleased. Social media is a burden, possibly a demon, put on the screens of many men.
Right now, we're all from another realm.
Yes, but where I came from, we did not have indoor plumbing, which surprises me that it took so long to be made.
Right. If I ever end up time traveling, and I end up somewhere without a toilet, I'm done.
That is a sad truth, my friend. That is sad truth. Dost thou bowels leak uncontrollably? Why is toilet so important to your survival? Is it a vampire thing?
I don't like squatting. Going against a tree, not for me.
That's a T-shirt.
Going against. When that tree shits in the woods, I'm shitting on it. That's a T-shirt. All right, so you guys get to the library. Front doors are unlocked. You go in. What exactly are you? Wow, I bumped
Everything.
You can uncoil that cord.
It's all right. It's just enough, and I'm getting handsy with the air around me to make gestures that no one's ever going to see but you guys. So you get to the library, and the doors are unlocked. What are you looking for? Like, what's your guiding? You have a sword-wielding meathead, admittedly with a good heart, but libraries aren't really his shtick.
That's fine. I just wanted someone to, like, be there. Standard, Corbin's thought process is, it was mentioned earlier, but he wasn't there for it, but it was going through his head as like, some kid probably read something he shouldn't, and then the whole town got sucked somewhere. I've done that 49 times. It's hit number 50. So it's standard, like, second year of agent training. You here are the signs that a Necronomicon has been found and read out loud from, because people are stupid and they can't read to themselves in their head sometimes. Even moving your lips counts. So just looking for those clues.
Okay, roll to investigate a mystery. Let's see how well you figure this out as you go.
Oh, good. 11.
All right, so what are the best way I can do this? Because traditionally you would get 2 questions with the 10 plus. We can go with, hey, where can I find a book I'm looking for? So I would say most likely if they have a tome or Necronomicon, you are looking not in the history section or the small child section. You are looking for a reserved book, historical section with things there that are from the town's history. You would kind of go to that region. Do you check, like, the card region where it's like, hey, this is where you can find this. This is the number or the Dewey Decimal System that this book would sit. Or do you just look for the history section?
Do they have, like, computers that are on? Is the power on?
There is no power here. That is only in the building due to generators.
Yup, time to go. Old school, look at the card catalog. Does the library have one of those I know it's probably
little
not
pocket
huge,
in the
like one of those
books.
like storage.
Yep. It
Yep.
has the receptacle where it's got like 9 drawers. You kind of start hunting through it. You do eventually come across a card that says the history of Terra, Nebraska. That's a good one. There is something called the Necroyumicon, which is probably a cookbook, but catches your interest. As you are searching through the cards, Galand is behind you, just swinging a sword around in the open region, like practicing for a fight that's just bound to happen.
Corbin is a little upset about it, but not because he's annoyed, because he wishes he also had a sword, and he's jealous that he doesn't get to be the guy in the background being just like, blah, blah, ha.
Right.
That's usually his deal.
You have a second question with that investigation roll. What is something to kind of hunt for, or even if it's can I figure out where to
Is
go?
there any like signage like, oh, coming to town, the ancient books from Babylonian era, anything
so you
at
mean
all?
a giant sign that says exactly
Yeah.
what you're looking for sits right here?
Anything, because you're not gonna have like a giant
Given
book.
the name of the book you're looking for, there is a local history section. When you go there, there is an old book in one of the cases.
There you go. Grabbing that.
You gonna break the case to get into it?
I mean,
or-
is it locked?
Yeah, it's locked. I don't want people touching it.
I'm gonna
They're
break-
gonna be hams.
I'm gonna break the lock, not the case. It's probably a nice case.
All right. You get the book out. As you flip through it, you find not what you're looking for, but that the original founders of Terra, Nebraska, were eventually ran out of town. That they attempted to figure something out here. They established the town, and when they had a decent population, for reasons that are not known to history because it wasn't written down or chosen to not be written down, the people who founded the town, which was a group of 4 or 5 men, were ran out of town and told not to come back, which they never did. The possibility that they're all dead and it was, we ran them out is pretty strong, but you can't tell that based on the book, which is kind of glossed over some of the darker aspects of that history.
That is such a weird thing to happen in America. Like, they never do that. They never just kind of...
I know, I'm asking you guys to do, like, the big imaginary make-believe here, but...
Okay.
An American textbook would never just kind of gloss over the bad stuff.
No. it
Never.
doesn't-
Never
no.
once.
But the bad people went away and everyone was happy and everything is great now.
Okay, so...
Bringing back an old joke. Is there a National Geographic, the founders of Terra, Nebraska, dicks? Question mark.
I would like you to roll... This one's kind of strange. It's hard to figure out how you would do it. I would say investigate a mystery is probably the closest thing that I can do. You're not going to get to ask me questions. It just kind of decides if you pick up on something.
Mm-hmm.
It's the best I can do. We don't really have perception checks.
6.
Yep. Nope. You're good.
Okay. Is that experience? That's experience, right?
That is experience.
Awesome.
No, you're solid. You're just chilling. You read your book. And this is kind of all you found here.
Mm.
Is there anywhere else you want to stop before
Let's
you
check
head
out that Necroyumicon.
Gotcha.
Nope, cookbook. All right, cool.
We will. Are you going to head back to the school, or you have somewhere else to go?
Next is the graveyard.
Okay.
The graveyard.
As you head off to the graveyard, we will cut back to the school. Orpheus, you and Troy have entered the building. Presumably, you have used your pepper grinder.
Yes.
What is your intent at this point? Where are you going to go? Who are you going to see? What is your itinerary for the time?
I guess I would go up to. Are Liam and Elmer still kind of hanging out?
Yep. The Amish community hasn't quite dispersed. They've kind of found their own little corner, but they are like sitting on the cots. They are about. I mean, people have walked up to them, clearly offered them blankets and a place to be. Some of the more elderly people have been given cots, but some of the younger folks are just sort of loitering. This is all very strange for them. This is new. They've never really been here before.
I'll walk up to Liam and Elmer and I thank you for making the tough decision. Do your people need anything? Were there any young left behind?
Liam recognizes you. Elmer does not. Liam saw you before you entered the cornfield and you shifted shape. Elmer has no idea who you are. But Liam instantly greets you with a smile, and he goes, a lot of families did choose to stay. There were kids there, but I mean, we can't convince everyone to come with us, and to be fair, this is all kind of new to us. I mean, to everyone here. Hopefully.
I thank you for putting your trust in me. I will try to get you out of this place, if it costs me my own life.
Liam looks at you, and with more intent than one would see in the few words he's about to say, the best he can do is, "I'm sorry." And then he goes back to where the other people of his group are. Elmer is completely confused and has no idea what's happened just now. But he's an old dude, wearing his coat, his hat, holding a shotgun in a gym.
To Troy. Why is he sorry? What am I not seeing?
All right, come over here. Come over here for a minute. Come on. We take a step aside. He recognizes that he kind of left you out to dry back there. And he's sorry he did that. He's apologizing for the position he put you in.
He is here now. Where are Marcellus and Bernard?
We look around the room, and presumably we find Marcellus. We would head that way. As Troy approaches, he looks at Marcellus and he says, "Something smells really bad in here, and I can't tell if it's the people or something else. It smells like burnt bacon. What happened?"
That's probably Bernard's synapses going crazy. He just saw his wife, and she touched him, and it freaked him out. I'm assuming it's only because we're in the Dreamlands that she is able to be corporeal, and that as soon as we leave, she will not be.
I mean, it's an option.
This is the first thing that came to my mind that I could tell him to calm him down, because he was about to go ballistic.
No, that tracks. All right, that's concerning. I'll be back.
Yeah.
And he walks out
Okay.
of the gym. All right, see you, man.
Okay. I'll be here.
Orpheus, you are now with Marcellus. Is there a conversation you two need to have?
I'm sure you saw Liam and half of them have joined us.
I did, yes. Glad that Troy was at least able to convince some of them.
Do you think in this form there's anything I can do to bring the others? The innocent?
Probably not. I feel like the people that are here are the only ones that are going to show up. I feel like the rest of them are too caught up in their religion to break their faith and leave their protection.
I suspect we have much more work to do here.
Unfortunately, yes, and then I'm going to kind of look around and kind of pull him off to the side a little away from the people and be like, we need to figure out how to get a portal open long enough to get out of here as soon as possible.
Marcellus, I have only known you to do this portal. I can hold anyone off, but this is your problem to deal with, my friend.
Keep that to yourself, please. Technically speaking, I'm not supposed to be able to do magic. So do not inform anyone of that, please.
There is a commotion up by the doorway into the gym. You see a red-haired woman holding a knife that is sticking into Troy's side. As she starts to scream. This is how it has to be. This is how it has to go. This is what it is. If we do anything different, it'll be bad. It's for the greater good. It's for the greater good.
Oh, Marcellus is preternatural speed right over there and grabbing her.
Well, mind you, you have a room with a few hundred witnesses.
Don't give a shit right now.
Okay. What do you do? How do you handle that? Do you go for her or do you go for Troy?
I'm going to... has she stabbed him or does she just have it?
No, she stabbed it in and left it. And then she took a step back and tried to address the crowd.
I'm going to tackle her and handcuff her.
All right. Orpheus, what do you do? Nothing. I fuck off. I'm done. Nah, let that fucker die.
We didn't bond that much.
We didn't bond that much.
Create a new character, Sam.
Oh, man.
Definitely gonna make an appearance, or make my way to Troy with haste, post haste to Troy. Not going to pull out the knife, but I'm gonna start talking to him, seeing where his mind is at.
Bernard is, like I said, I think Bernard is really coming through like offices of. So he's not there. He's in a principal's office. He's in a.
Roll to investigate a mystery.
Okay.
Let's just see if you can find some booze.
Yeah.
I'm picturing him like feet up on a desk, drinking directly from a bottle, singing Danny
So that's
Boy.
an 8, and what would it be?
Sharp.
So an 8.
Got an 8?
Plus 0.
Not in the principal's office, but there is like a 90% chance you're going to find some in the teacher's lounge. You should probably head there next.
Cool. All right, that's where it's going.
Okay. Corbin and Galland are headed to the cemetery. Did you find what you were looking for, good friend?
Nope. Let's try the graveyard.
What will be there but foes already vanquished?
Just a shrug, like, I don't know.
Are
That's
you
what we're
sure
gonna
this
go
is the
A
best
shrubbery.
Are you sure this is the best use of our
Neat.
time?
No, not at all.
I
But
find myself
but-
concerned with your guidance.
there might be spooky skeletons to fight. We are hunting for
You
trouble.
had me at spooky. Let us go to the graveyard.
Yeah, he's just going Diablo now. He's just trying to level up. Let's just hit the lower level dungeons.
All right, we will cut back to the gymnasium. Troy looks up at Orpheus and says, I need you to take me to another room. I need you to do it right now, please. You need to pick me up, and you need to carry me away from this place. You need to get me away from other people. Whatever she just stabbed me with had silver in it. It's not... You're going to have to do some surgery. Can you handle that?
I'll ask him, do we need to be in another room, or
Yeah,
do we need
yeah.
to be isolated?
People were
Isolated.
someplace where humans aren't going to see. Because what you're going to do is going to be real fucking weird, and they're not going to get it.
I am going to try to transport with him in my arms to that nearest body of water I can sense.
Are you going to walk out of the room first?
No, just walk him out into Gertrude. She's right outside the door. I feel like that would make more sense because there's medical supplies inside of the APV.
Yeah.
But no swords.
Are you saying this in character? Did you hear this?
What?
I wasn't, but I can. It would make sense. Because I assume I could hear him say, "I need you to get me out of here," and there was silver in it. Then I'll just say to Orpheus, like, "Hey, get him into Gertrude immediately."
We are in Gertrude. Troy has been stabbed. The knife is still in his side. He looks at you and says, "Hey, do you know anything about do you know anything about surgery?"
Troy, what I do remember was a much more rudimentary time.
Nope, it's good. Hack and slash is kind of what we need right now. Okay. All right, so it kind of feels like the tip of the thing she stabbed me with is kind of in the lung right now. Okay, so here's the thing. I'm a lycanthrope, and silver causes damage that has to heal slowly like normal. So this is actually a trauma situation. All right, you need to get a clean scalpel.
Absolutely.
Okay, all right, so this is what you're going to see. You're going to pull that knife out, and I'm going to start bleeding like a stuck pig. She hit me in a few places. Around the edges of the wounds, you're going to see what kind of looks like burnt bits. It's an allergic reaction to the silver in the knife. I'm going to need you to cut away all the bits that are allergically reacting to the silver. The scalpel you're using, God willing, is going to be made out of stainless steel. And so you're going to cut away that, and then my natural healing ability is going to take over. But you're going to have to kind of pry me open a little bit to make sure you get to my lung. Do you understand what I'm asking you to do?
It will be done, Troy.
Keep that confidence. That's good confidence. I like that. Good. Okay. So you're going to pull it out, and you're going to have to work real fast. There should be... There should be a syringe, something that... water. You're going to need to clean out the wound as you work. There's going to be a fuckload of blood. I don't know why I didn't see that coming. Get it now. Go get something to flush the wound.
As serious and as tense as this is, like, I can't help but think that, like, obviously it will never be a werewolf that's stabbed, but I fucking hope I am never put in a situation where I have to perform some sort of emergency surgery. Like, do you know anything about surgery? I'm like, oh, fuck no, man.
I don't know how to do surgery.
No. You gotta cut me open, man. Like, oh no, you don't want me to do that, dude. I can't eat spaghetti without getting it all over myself. I can't cut you open. I'm a child.
I'm gonna do a quick pass through Gertrude if there's any purified water, any saline solution,
Yep, saline
isopropyl
solution.
alcohol.
There is some alcohol. I would start with that, but yeah, that works. His healing factor can take over. The silver prevents the healing factor from working.
And anything that he can bite down on, and if there's not like a piece of leather, I am gonna grow a vine.
Okay.
And drape it across his mouth.
Okay.
Grow it from your groin.
Don't be like that.
Just thinking that, like, slap.
You guys are horrible. Does anybody follow
question.
Orpheus into Gertrude? All right. Okay, so we have Orpheus and Marcellus are standing over me. Marcellus, how much of that did you hear? After you arrested
Hold
her,
on.
what?
He just leaves her. What are you doing? with
No,
her?
I
That was my next question. What
I
did you
arrested
do?
her and was going to hand her off to Agent Boyd outside. Say, hey, she just stabbed Agent Walsh. I got to go help him.
All right, so you show up a little bit later, so you got some of the explanation of what needs to happen next.
Yeah. Well, I mean, assuming I would know what silver does to a werewolf.
You would. You're old enough.
Not dissimilar to what it does to you.
Basically, yeah. It.
Yeah. So, but my question for you real quick is that considered like a poison or a disease to him?
Technically, in game standards, it is. He takes extra damage when hurt by it. For Thor the word Jesus. Whoa. For lore and mythology purposes, like it said, it's almost like an allergic reaction directly into the wound where the silver touches. It's
Okay.
not permanent. He's not going to be like sick forever. It's almost like a burn against the areas that it cuts through. If that damaged tissue is removed, his body will heal itself back up after. But it's almost like it's cauterizing the wound as it goes through.
Okay.
Okay, so I have you two standing over Troy, sitting in Gertrude's, lying in Gertrude, where the map used to be. All right, it's time for you guys to perform surgery.
Can I use some magic while I'm doing this surgery to help things along?
You can, if you want to. What do you want to do?
Yes.
Those were not words.
Because
but
I know with
appreciate it.
magic I can heal harm from an injury, cure a disease, neutralize a poison. That's kind of where my question went, but it mainly just be like helping heal faster.
If you want to give me a weird roll, and we
Mainly just to staunch the bleeding.
Yes, I was just thinking, like, almost freeze time in the wound, so he doesn't have as much flowing out at him when he pulls that knife out.
Exactly. 9.
All right, so the spell.
Wait, 10.
Oh, I see. All right, that changes things. It works. You do the hand wave. What color is your magic?
Red.
Almost like a red glow, and then you look up at Orpheus and give him the nod. All right, Orpheus, you gonna rip that knife out?
Deep breath, and I'm gonna try to carefully rip it out in such a manner that doesn't cause more damage, but quickly at the same time. I don't want to tussle it. I just want a good, clean upward pull.
You pull it out. It's actually a crisp blade, which is the wavy knife blade. It's got a lot of weird symbols on it that you guys in the moment not exactly thinking about, but mental note for later. All right, bud, you start cutting. I'm going to need you to act under pressure. That is a cool roll.
Oh, fuck.
I think yours is better than mine, so that's probably good.
Not the best time to get XP, though.
What'd you get?
4.
All right. All right, so we will say in that moment, that traumatic minute where you pull that knife out and that wound is just staring back at you, you kind of have a little panic attack. You do get your experience. Marcella, seeing that Orpheus has frozen up in this moment, I assume you'll step up.
Oh, yeah.
I need you to make me an act under pressure roll.
7.
Thank you.
Oh, my God.
It is going to take some time, but you will perform this surgery well enough that he will be okay. He is going to be out of it for a bit. You're going to miss some of the wounds, so he's not going to be 100% for the rest of the mission, but it is something he will eventually heal from. Thank you for not killing my character.
Well, dude, yeah, I'm rolling shit.
You're having a rough night tonight, but hey, you might level up. That's a thing.
I highly doubt it.
You stick the scalpel in, and you can feel the flesh cutting away. And then, unfortunately, in the heat of that moment, you've got to reach in and grab that tissue with your hands and ripping it out. Blood's not something new to you. This is not something that's going to tempt you, though. It is a well-known fact. Vampires really can't feed on lycanthropes or cursed werewolves. They would have a very similar reaction to feeding on the eldritch. Werewolves, lycanthropes specifically, have been created to more or less protect humanity from vampires and other things that go bump in the night. We're not a food source for you.
Well, plus the fact that
it smells like wet dog.
Earlier, yeah, well, yeah, there's that. But earlier in the episodes, Marcellus had brought to the attention that he had long since needed his, or long since surpassed his need to feed consistently.
It's not
So,
tempting you in any way.
It's not a tempting thing.
You are-
It's more of a concern for his friend.
You are taking huge chunks of flesh. This is not. You are used to putting axes in people and making sure they stay there.
Yeah.
Figuring out how to cut precisely in this manner is very new to you.
Right.
And I assume I'm just gonna be holding his fucking chest cavity open.
Yes,
Wow.
you can
Yeah.
use your hands to kind of help keep the wound separated. You guys managed to cut everything out. Even as you are cutting things at the bottom, you are seeing things knit back together. The situation of the wound, you do miss some. That's okay. You eventually cut the skin around the top, and everything knits back together. Troy, lying there, looks at you and goes, "Hey, I really appreciate you saving my life, but I'm going to pass out now."
You go ahead. We got it, man.
All right, everybody, thank you for joining us for another episode of Anarium. Just want to thank you all again for listening and sticking with us. This arc has been a lot of fun to make, and we've had a great time with Rick as a guest, and I know that he will be back in the future. And I just want to take this time to remind you once more to please, before you leave us for this week, go ahead and just make sure you are subscribed. And if you haven't left a little review of the show on the podcast thing that you listen to us on, be it iTunes or Spotify or whatever, please do so. We know that we've only gotten to where we are, which is, we're creeping close to our first 1,000 downloads, which I'm very proud of. We've only gotten to that point because it's mostly people just telling their friends. But one of the biggest ways we can get more listeners and more agents is you telling people on the internet, strangers on the internet, how much you enjoy the show. So leave that review and help us out. I think that's pretty much it for now, guys. Thank you so much. We'll see you next time. Not next week. 2 weeks. Bye.